right, we are back and we are playing some Warhammer Fantasy 8th Edition today. We're going to be playing our normal 3,000 points, and we're going to have the Dark Elves versus the Chaos Warriors today. Here's a look at our table before deployment. We're going to have a river, some ruins, two forests. They'll be mysterious. We'll see what they are later in the game. We're not going to use these ruins as any kind of mysterious terrain today, but we'll just stick with the mysterious forest, and we'll go with the rules for mysterious river as well. But we're just going to set up for a battle line. So this is the table, and let's take you guys over to the armies. Okay, here's 3,000 points of Dark Elves. These guys haven't been out in a while. They've been locked away in the case, so hopefully they're not rusty. We have leading the army, we have a Dreadlord on a dragon. I believe he has the Ogre Blade and the Armor of Destiny, along with a shield and a Sea Dragon Cloak. We have a level 4 Sorcerer who has the Tome of Furion. We have a Battle Standard Bearer with Talisman of Endurance and the Sword of Battle. We have a level 1 mage who just took Lord of Beasts to give us some Weissmans. 2 units of 10 crossbows with shields and musicians. 2 bolt throwers. A unit of 10 Cold One Knights with the Standard of Discipline. We are taking a Hydra out of the Storm of Magic book, which he is more like the old-fashioned Hydra, which I prefer over the Hydra in the Dark Elf book. Also, we have a unit of 50 Spear Elves with full command. We have a unit of 30 Blackguard with full command, and a unit of 5 Dark Riders. Dark Riders are on the skinny Cold Ones. Cold One Knights are on the fat Cold Ones. Skinny, fat. Skinny, fat. Keep that straight. All right, for spells, the level 4 Sorcerer has Chill Wind, Power of Darkness, Doom Bolt, Soul Stealer, and the Black Horror. And as I said before, the level 1 has Weissmans. So that is it. That is 3,000 points of Dark Elves. And I will take you guys over to the Chaos Warriors. All right, what are the Chaos Warriors bringing today?
So we got 3 units, each with 20 Chaos Warriors. These ones had Mark of Khorne. These ones had Mark of Nurgle, if you couldn't tell by the colors. 10 Chaos Knights, 3 Skull Crushers, 15 Marauder Archers.
Yeah, that's our house rule, that the archers can take the bows as an upgrade, because we believe you should always be able to use the models you paid for.
Chimera. They'll be led by a Chaos Lord with a Chaos Sorcerer Lord and a Bow Standard as his little court. A Nurgle hero and a Khorne hero. He has a shield, but he has an additional hand weapon.
Okay. How are the Khorne Warriors armed?
They have additional hand weapons, because if you have Mark of Khorne, you might as well get as many attacks as possible.
Very true, very true. And the regular warriors, are they just hand weapon and shield?
Yep.
And what about the Nurgle Warriors?
They're hand weapon and shield.
Okay. And you took the familiar, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what spells did your Chaos Sorcerer get?
He'll be taking Lord of Fire with Fireball, Flaming Sword of Ruin, Piercing Bolts of Burning, Fulminating Flame Cage, and Flame Storm.
All right, so there we go. That is 3,000 points of chaos sitting there. Lots of Khorne, and then a giant block of Nurgle to back them up. So we will get to deployment, and we will bring you guys back after deployment. Okay, here we are all deployed, and no, you are not seeing things. We did originally say this was going to be battle line, but after looking at how the river turned out, we thought the meeting engagement scenario would be more appropriate given the placement of the river. So here we are set up for a meeting engagement now. So the Dark Elves are all set up over here. We have Dark Riders, Hydra, Blackguard, Level 1 Mage, Dreadlord on the Dragon, Bolt Thrower, Dark Shards, Bolt Thrower, Level 4 Mage, Spear Elves, Battle Standard Bearer, more Dark Shards, and Cold One Knights. You want to run down the Chaos line for me?
Chaos Knights, Nurgle Warriors behind the rocks, Archers, Warriors, Chimera, Corn Warriors, Skull Crushers.
All right, we are all set up, and the Chaos Warriors did manage to seize the initiative, so they are going first, and we will bring you guys back after Chaos turn 1. It's the end of Chaos turn 1, and this is how things sit. The Corn guys, the Skull Crushers came over the bridge. The Warriors are still sitting on the bridge. Over here, the Warriors moved up. Archers just did a regular move so that they could shoot. The Chimera moved up to there. The Nurgle guys are holding up the rear. And now I have some decisions to make with those Chaos Knights sitting there on the bridge. So that'll be fun. Magic, yes. A fireball went off onto the Blackguard, killing 7. And then the archers let loose onto my crossbowmen here and killed 2. And that's about all that happened. The rest of the magic phase got shut down. So now it is going to be moving over to Dark Elves turn 1. All right, here things are at the end of Dark Elf turn 1. So mostly bad. Some good, but mostly bad. The Cold Ones charged the Chaos Knights, did some wounds, won the combat, but the Chaos Knights managed to pass their leadership test. So that was a big blow. Over here, the archers or the crossbowmen managed to pluck off one of the Nurgle warriors over there. Over here, the sorcerer had a good round, but he then rolled a misfire when casting the Black Horror. So the Black Horror landed right there and took out 2 Spear Elves. Oh, which reminds me, they weren't there. They also got Power of Darkness off. The Bolt Thrower over here picked on the Chimera, didn't do anything. These guys plucked off one of these Chaos Warriors. This Bolt Thrower also took out 2 Chaos Warriors. The Blackguard and the Hydra attempted to charge the Skull Crushers. The wonderful Blackguard rolled a 2 and failed the charge, so the Hydra had to go in alone. He ended up taking 3 wounds and did none in return. He passed his leadership test only because the general on the dragon was within range. The Dark Riders moved into the river, which turned out to be a necrotic ooze. And so now they have poison attacks, which is nice. And they used their crossbows and plucked off 1 Corn Warrior. So we had some failed charges. We did win a combat with the Knights, but I don't know how that's going to go now because we won't have our Lance bonus next turn. So that's not too great. We were really counting on them breaking. But apart from that, we'll see what happens at the end of Chaos turn 2. This is either going to be one of those close games or one of those really fast games. All right, we'll see you guys after Chaos turn 2. All right, this is where things sit at the end of Chaos turn 2. The Corn Warriors turned around or reformed to face these Dark Riders, who won't be there next turn. The Skull Crushers, they did their best to try and finish out the Hydra, but his regen held strong, so that ended up being a drawn combat there. Moving over here, the Archers traded some shots with my crossbowmen. Then to my horror, the Chimera flew over behind my lines and barbecued a large chunk of my spear elves. And to make matters even more fun, the Black Horror drifted back through our lines and killed some more. So half of that unit is wiped out, though they did pass their panic test. Over here, the Cold One Knights ended up winning the combat again, but the Chaos Warriors passed their leadership test. So that is how things sit. The Chaos Warriors are starting to press in on us. We'll see if we can get some more elves, hopefully the Blackguard, into a combat and doing something. But we will bring you guys back at the end of Dark Elf Turn 2. Here things sit at the end of Dark Elves Turn 2. The Dark Riders skirted around to over there, hopefully to draw off the Corn Warriors. The Blood Crushers, Skull Crushers, finally finished off the Hydra. So now the Blackguard are looking down the barrel of that. Not good. The Dragon moved over here to help deal with this Chimera. The Sorcerer, he threw a Doombolt at the Chimera and took another wound off. He did also get Power of Darkness off on his own unit. The Cold Ones and the Knights are having a slow slap fight over here. And the Crossbowmen in the Woods, which I think we forgot to mention to you guys, this turned out to be a fungus forest, so that's why there are mushrooms there. They passed their stupidity test and managed to get enough wounds off on that Marauder unit that they failed their panic test and took off with the Chaos Sorcerer. So hopefully he'll be a little out of position next turn if they rally. And the Dark Elf Sorcerer also threw another Black Horror out there. This one is going in the way of the Chaos, so hopefully that'll help deter any charges coming in. So yeah, that's where things are sitting. Not looking great for the Dark Elves, but it could be a lot worse. All right, we are going over to Chaos Turn 3. Here's how things sit at the end of Chaos Turn 3. The Corn Warriors charged off the bridge at the Dark Riders over here, killed them, and then overran to here. They just barely stayed on the board. They lost one guy to the Necrotic Ooze, but otherwise they came through unscathed against the Dark Riders. Moving over here, the Skull Crushers charged into the Blackguard. The Blackguard did 2 wounds to them, and I believe the Skull Crushers killed 8 Blackguard in return, but thanks to being stubborn, the Blackguard held. Over here, this Chimera munched down one of my Bolt Thrower crews, and then reformed up on my Mage. This unit of warriors tried to charge these Dark Shards and failed, but the Dark Shards managed to kill 2 warriors with their stand and shoot, which was very nice. Finally, the Cold One Knights managed to break the Chaos Knights and run them down. So we are sitting there with those Nurgle warriors looking at our flank, and the Vortex moved. The Black Horror Vortex moved to there. So we'll have to decide if we want to keep that going on our turn. And the unit of Marauders with the Chaos Sorcerer rallied, but he was out of range for most of his spells. So this is where things sit. Not looking too great because this flank is pretty much crushed on the Dark Elf side. But over here, we do have some opportunities now that those Chaos Knights are gone. So maybe we can do something with those Cold One Riders. We'll have to see what the movement looks like. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get away from those Nurgle warriors, so I may just have to turn and get ready for that charge. But at least we do have some points for taking out the Chaos Knights. All right, we'll catch you guys back up after Dark Elves Turn 3. At the end of Dark Elf Turn 3, it looks like we've got some things turning around. These crossbowmen fired off at the Nurgle warriors and took one out. The Spear Elves marched over to here, passing their march test. The Dragon got a rear charge on the Chimera. Didn't do too well in the wounding department, but managed to win the combat because of the rear charge, and the Chimera's on the run. See his little yellow arrow. Uh, Thanks to a good Doombolt from the Sorcerer over here and a bunch of shots from the crossbow and the bolt throwers, this unit of warriors with the Battle Standard and the Chaos Lord have been reduced to a single rank. I decided the best way to take on those Nurgle warriors was by staying away from them. So my Cold One Knights passed their leadership test and made a march around to there. And over here, in a surprise to everyone, the Blackguard managed to take out a whole Skull Crusher and win this combat. And they are no longer frenzied, but they did pass their leadership test. So we have kind of an interesting flip. The Dark Elves were looking like they were on the ropes there for a while, but now things are starting to balance out. Still got that big unit of Nurgle warriors over there to worry about. And if these Khorne warriors can get back in the fight, they're going to be something to worry about. So we will see how Chaos handles this, and we'll bring you guys back after Chaos turn 4. Here's how things sit at the end of Chaos turn 4. The Khorne warriors reformed and moved up to here. The in an astonishing charge across the river, the Lords, or what's left of the Lords unit with the BSB, hit the Blackguard in the flank, and together they ended up breaking the Blackguard, and the Skull Crusher pursued them to here and wiped them out. The Lords unit decided to reform on the Bolt Thrower, and the Nurgle warriors tried to make a charge on the crossbowmen and failed, and the Chimera failed his rally, so he is continuing to run. The Wizard Lord moved his unit up there onto the mountain, and he suffered a miscast and took out half of his unit. So he's just left there with one Marauder left. So this is where things sit. Could be better for the Dark Elves, but could also be a lot worse. We lost the Blackguard, but we still have a small block of Spear Elves left and the Dragon. We'll see what we can do with that, and the Cold One Knights. Though the Cold One Knights are kind of out of it. I don't know if they're going to make it back into this game, but we'll see. All right, we'll bring you guys back after Dark Elves turn 4. Okay, things looking good at the end of Dark Elf turn 4. Our lone level 1 wizard moved over here to possibly be a speed bump to those Khorne warriors. The Cold One Knights moved around to there to try and challenge them. We unloaded all of these guys into what's left of the Lord's unit, wiped out the unit, and just left the Lord and the Battle Standard there. My Wizards unit decided to brave the river and lost 3 guys in the process, and all they managed to do was throw a Black Horror over to there. These crossbowmen did manage to kill off the remaining Marauders, so the Wizard's there by himself. The Dreadlord decided to go for broke and charge the Nurgle warriors. He did take out 7 of them. They did 1 wound to him in return, but they were steadfast, so they did pass their leadership test. But things are looking pretty good there. So it's starting to become a thinning field for Chaos, but they still have, I think, enough to handle what is left of the Dark Elves. So we will go on to Chaos turn 5 and see if they can come back. So here we are at the end of Chaos turn 5. The Khorne warriors tried to charge the Cold One Knights and didn't make it. This Skull Crusher came up here to hopefully go after my mage. The Battle Standard Bearer and the Chaos Lord split up. The Chaos Lord took out the Bolt Thrower crew, and then the Battle Standard Bearer beat up on the Dark Shards. They remained steadfast because of they have a rank. The Chaos Sorcerer fired off a fireball and took off 4 more of these Spear Elves. The Dragon won combat again, taking out 3 more Nurgle Warriors, but they remain steadfast. So there we sit. We are heading into Dark Elves turn 5, and we'll see how things are going after that. All right, here we are at the end of Dark Elves turn 5. The Cold One Knights charged the Corn Warriors, ended up beating them and running them down, thanks to one lucky wound from a cold one that got through. The Corn Warriors ended up not being steadfast, so we both had the same number of ranks, so that meant they had to take all the minuses to their leadership, and the Corn Warriors failed and got ran down. Over here, the Battle Standard Bearer took out the Dark Shards and ran them down. My Spear Elves moved out of the river. They lost 2 more guys to the ooze for that, and a wound to the Battle Standard Bearer. The Sorcerer Lord threw a Doom Bolt at the Chaos Sorcerer, which he passed all of his armor saves, and then I took him out with a Chill Wind. So the Strength 5 hits did nothing, but the Strength 2 Chill Wind got through to him. Over here, the Dragon finally broke the Nurgle Warriors and ran them down. And I think we forgot to mention on the Chaos turn that the Chimera rallied, so he's not running away anymore. So this is where it sits. We are going to call this one a Dark Elf victory, and we are going to end it here on turn 5. The Chaos Warriors definitely put up a good fight, and they were looking very favorable on the turn 2, but the Dark Elves held in there and managed to turn this one around. I'm definitely going to say my man of the match is probably going to be the Cold One Knights, because they took out a unit of Chaos Knights and they took out the Corn Warriors, netting us a lot of points. What do you have to say about this one?
I feel like what kind of held me back a bit was the fact that I had some lackluster magic faces and the fact that the dice just weren't on my side. Like I never had like a really robust magic phase. It felt like my wizard did more damage to my units than he did to the Dark Elves.
Yeah, magic was really not a huge factor in this game. I got the Black Horror spell off 3 times, and the only people it killed were my own Dark Elves. And even the Doom Bolt, I think you managed to shrug that off a couple times. So yeah, magic wasn't really a huge factor in this one. It just came down to a slugfest.
Yeah.
I think the Dark Shards also came in handy. You know, they were plucking some wounds off here and there to all the units, so that helped once we finally closed in with, 1 or 2 guys being missing from a rank.
I also feel like the river definitely had a bit to play in it because it felt like I couldn't get some of my units across it at times.
The river is always an interesting challenge when it goes in there. I didn't expect it to be a necrotic ooze. I lost quite a few guys to that. Who would you say is your favorite unit, your man of the match?
Oh, the Skull Crushers definitely pulled through once again this game. They managed to beat back both the Hydra and the
the Blackguard.
The Blackguard. Yeah. Heavy armor elves with the what were they, halberds?
Yeah, halberds and always strike first and eternal hatred. Yeah, they're nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the waste of points level 1 wizard. The only reason I took him was to give the frickin' Blackguard Weissman's Wild Form, and it never went off the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't even get it off for the Cold One Knights.
I also definitely I'm really liking the Chimera. I think it pulled through pretty well, like it did with the High Elves. Like in this game, it managed to break down a bolt thrower and reduce the Spear Elves in size. Thus reducing how much of a threat they could be.
Yeah, for their points, you can't really beat the Chimera. They're very flexible. There's some people that take 2 of them in a list. So that's something to think about in the future.
I prefer to have at least like 3 units of warriors.
Yeah, warriors are solid. They're almost like your Saurus for your lizard men. You know, they're just always a viable choice. All right, what do you think we're playing next? Are we back to Flames of War next time?
I was thinking we should do some Clash of Steel since now we got some new boxes.
Oh yeah. We've graduated up to the second starter set for Clash of Steel, so we'll probably be breaking those out soon. All right, that sounds good. All right, well, thanks everybody for watching, and hope you enjoyed. You got anything else?
I think I might be good.
All right. See everybody next time.